Today I'm going to be reacting. Oh, hold on. I'm going to be reacting to It Will Give You Goosebumps, Alan Watts on Falling in Love. Let's watch together. I thought it would be nice to watch something a little more upbeat. And yeah.
Love and say it's crazy. Falling. Well, now really, when we go back then to falling in love and say it's crazy. Falling. We don't say rising into love. There is in it the idea of the fall. Taking this ghastly risk is the condition of there being life. You see, for all, life is an act of faith. The moment you take a step, you do so on an act of faith because you don't know that the floor is not going to give under your feet.
Oh, I was just thinking because I actually just got finished watching How the Body Keeps the Score, a video on that by Big Think, with the person who wrote the book. And I was thinking about why it's so hard. It feels so difficult these days to fall in love. I recently received a notification through my email from that dating app, The League, and I completely forgot that I had signed up for it like maybe a year or two ago. I don't remember because it has like a wait list, so I completely forgot about it. And then I got an email today being like, you made it to the app finally. So I was like, oh my gosh, okay, maybe this could be a good place to go on and try and meet somebody. I tried Bumble a couple weeks ago and I got like a response from one person and they stopped responding, and since then it's been silence. So yeah, I was just thinking and watching How the Body Keeps the Score, is obviously talking about trauma, and I was thinking about what they were just saying then and there. You don't rise into love, you fall into it. And there's an inherent kind of sacrifice of assured safety in your own presence. You can keep yourself safe, but once you choose to share yourself with somebody else, they also have a duty to keep you safe, and that's not, it's not a guarantee. And there's so much risk with falling in general, a lack of control. And I was wondering if maybe, but the thing is that I don't know, has it ever been easy to fall in love? Has there ever been an age on earth when it was just pure bliss and no problems finding a partner? Because sure, maybe marriages lasted a little longer during other times and more people were finding partners younger, but were they the right partners? Were people in love, or were people just in commitments to each other for other reasons? It's hard to know because I feel like you never really get the full truth out of the older generations. It sounds like everything was just much more jazzy back then, which maybe that is the truth, but I can't help but feel like it's probably always been a bit of a human problem with our consciousness and all, that, falling in love is kind of hard. And I wonder, if we could have a number of how many human beings on earth have actually lived their life alongside their romantic soulmate, and like really done it. And versus how many have been with other people that they were in love with, and then how many have just, either been alone or not been in a committed relationship with somebody that they weren't in love with. It's so hard. And then I was going to say, if it is, a problem for this generation, it would be understandable considering how much we understand about trauma, and with there being a desire to really take care of yourself and protect yourself, and all these conversations surrounding self in general and independence, especially with our generation. I understand why it's so hard.
The moment you take a journey, what an act of faith. Any kind of undertaking in relationship, what an act of faith. You've given yourself up. This is the most powerful thing that can be done. Surrender. See, and love is an act of surrender to another person. Total abandonment. I give myself to you. That's quite mad, because you see, it's letting things get out of control. All sensible people keep things in control. Watch it, watch it, watch it. Police, security, vigilance, watch it. Guards, watch it. Who's going to watch the guards? Actually, what is really sensible is to let go, is to commit oneself, to give oneself up, and that's quite mad. So we come to the strange conclusion that in madness lies sanity.
I want to quickly share what for me has been a hugely positive habit, and that's speaking to a therapist using BetterHelp.
I also want to say, I support therapy. This is so separate. It's because I saw a BetterHelp ad, okay? Ads are now a part of videos at this point because they make you watch so much of it before you can skip. So, like, it's a part of the commentary. I believe in therapy and all that. But, you know, I also think that there is something to being able to talk to community and to yourself. I think that therapists are so important. At some points I wonder if I want to be a therapist. So I'm not saying replace therapists and don't make sure that they don't have a job. Nothing like that. I think they're so important. And I do think everyone could benefit from therapy. But I also think that you don't necessarily need it to live a great life and to be healthy and to be healed and to be healing. I think that there is something to being able to speak to yourself and help yourself process things and to speak to your community, your friends, your family. You know, I've heard a lot of people talk about how this whole thing around, you know, making sure that you're not putting too much burden on your friends and the people who are close to you to be there for you emotionally and not being a burden, all that. Like, I've heard people talk about how that's actually not, like, friendship is about being able to carry the weight with somebody. It's an investment. You have to be willing to make sacrifices. Sometimes it's not always balanced and equal, and that's just, it is what it is. That's what friendship is. You care about that person enough to be willing to do that work regardless. And I agree with that as well. And I don't know. I was just thinking, so I just saw that BetterHelp ad, and I don't know. I think that if it works for you, I think it's awesome. But anyways.
When you fall in love with somebody else and you trust them, they may, as a matter of fact, not fulfill your expectations. There will be disappointments and failures and disasters as a result of taking these risks. It's a gamble. But that risk has to be taken. The alternative to taking that risk is much worse than trusting and being deceived. Kenosis is a Greek word meaning self-emptying, self-sacrifice, and thereby conferred freedom of will and the power to love human beings. And people who give the power away are tremendously strong personalities, because the more they have given it up, the more they get it. You know, you do this complete let-off of control. It's a lovely, irresponsible state to be in.
It's so interesting because I feel like this video applies in so many ways. I know this is talking about falling in love, maybe romantic love, but it also relates to following your dreams and like your, you know, like the things that mean the most to you. I feel like it's really about letting go. Because I was just thinking, you know, like it's so hard as an artist. It's so scary. Every step of sharing yourself, of sharing your work is terrifying. And I was thinking, for me, like, what's that big thing that's scary? Because I've always been a hopeless romantic, so I've always wanted to be in love, always desired for love. And I've been scared to go on first dates and opened myself back up after my last relationship and things like that. And so I haven't been the most active in the dating world. And I'm super kind of guarded in person when it comes to pursuits. I kind of tend to not be into it at all, which probably isn't helping me, but when it comes to my dreams, I love making music. It is so terrifying for me to like perform in front of people. Uh, like the idea of singing one of my songs. One, because I have no idea how it would work, like how I would organize a live performance of my music, but just, having people hear that, the way that I go about creating, it just feels so vulnerable. It feels like sex. It's scary. And that's kind of, I don't know, I just thought of that immediately when we were watching that part right there. Um, yeah. I want to be in love. I do. I'm gonna go on the league and I'm gonna try my hardest. It's also hard. I think that the other part about what does make dating more difficult today is the lack of community to set you up. Like, I I would like a matchmaker. I would love a matchmaker. I would love like having parents who like were like, okay, this is my like friend's cousin's son that I really like and blah, blah blah. Like I'm not necessarily going to choose that person that they choose for me, but it would just be nice to have help. To have help, like people like suggesting people and like setting you up on blind dates and things like that. Like I would like that. It's hard to do it all on your own. I just don't think that's really natural, especially because human beings are like, we're tribal people, we're village people. So it just makes sense that it's the community's job to make sure that everyone finds their person. We all have a stake, we all have a role to play. And I think that maybe there needs to be more responsibility on community to pitch in to making sure that everybody has a fulfilled love life. Could you imagine? Just all of Toronto gets together and we're planning each other's dating lives. I think it could be really nice, and it could also be a bonding moment for the city, which we need.
What I am involves what you are. If I am I because you are you, and you are you because I am I, then I am not I and you are not you. In other words, we are not separate. You can't, for example, have two sticks. You lean two sticks against each other and they stand up because they support each other. Take one away and the other falls. And so in exactly that way, we and our environment, and all of us and each other, are interdependent systems. We know who we are in terms of other people. We all lock together. And therefore, that what you call the external world is as much you as your own body. Love is not something that is a sort of rare commodity. Everybody has it. Existence is love. Because you see, in tying up love in knots and becoming incapable of it, you can't destroy this energy. When you won't love and you won't let it out, the thing comes out in the form of self-destruction. So everybody has the force running. The thing is, first of all, to get it moving. To follow whatever kind of love you have in the first place.
You know what we need? We need more rom-coms. We need more rom-coms. I was thinking about the movie Set It Up, which I was watching yesterday on Netflix, and that movie is so good. And I was thinking about the girl because she finally gets her boss out of the office and like in a relationship. So now she has free time and like she just goes and like starts dating. She like goes on a date with this guy and now they're like dating and it's really fun and cute and sweet. And it's just like we need more rom-coms because that's also like, oh, imagine like I know people don't like first dates, but like if there was a rom-com in theaters, I would totally go see a movie on a first date. I think that's a fabulous first date. I love rom-coms. And then that just like adds to the dating mood, just adds to the spirit of things. And I also think that cities need more events for singles. That's not like a singles mixer where it's like weird and like but like where it's like fun and like at community centers, like you go with your friends and and like you don't have to like they're not like splitting you up from your friends and like oh like get over there, It's just like sweet and everybody is getting to meet each other and like it's scary but it's exciting and you're laughing and like fun little speed date rounds and you can go gossip and talk to your friends and not gossip but like chit chat with your friends and have fun and then go back and put yourself out there then and then run away and scream and laugh and just have a good time, like there just needs to be more events for singles. And there's just like there's so much pressure to be able to do everything independently and everything alone. And like I think it started with this whole like solo travel thing, which I support. I've traveled alone and I do support it, but there's just this huge emphasis on being alone, doing everything alone, being independent. And it's like, well, that's scary and that's hard. And there's no shame in admitting that something is so scary and so hard that you don't want to do it. There's like, it does push people away. And I just think that we should make it a little easier by making things fun to do as a group. And then, you can go and like find your way into conversations with people independently and all of that. But like, always just having to like split up and like go off on your own and like really like it's just so intense. It's so intense. And we are people. So we're never gonna actually want to be alone like that. Like I'm an introvert too. I love being alone. But I don't actually want to be alone, like and especially when I'm going to do something that's scary like that, I don't want to be alone. Like I want to be with people who I feel safe with, and then I want to go out there and like meet people. And then I want to be with people who I feel safe with, and then I want to go out there and meet people, and maybe I'll end up meeting somebody that I also feel safe with. But I think it's so much pressure when you always are expected to do everything alone. And like maybe that's why they had chaperones on dates. I mean, I know that why they had chaperones on dates, but also like maybe that's why. Like maybe they didn't realize, but maybe they were also tapping into this energy of like there's power in community. Like, and I know everybody makes fun of like the friend who like goes and like watches from a distance somebody's date, but like sometimes there's something to that, to not being alone, to knowing you're not alone in a situation, and getting to lean on your community to give you the strength to go out there and put yourself out there and do what you need to do to find love. I don't know. I just feel like there's power in that. Anyways,
The first thing then is to discover what indeed you do love, if anything, and you will find there is something. And then go into the nature of that.
That ball was
Now
not making it in the hoop.
And then go into the nature of that.
That's so cool.
Now it's said that selfish people love themselves. I would say that that is really a misunderstanding of the whole thing. If you explore what you love when you say you love yourself, you will make the startling discovery that everything you love is something which you thought was other than yourself. You suddenly discover that yourself is bigger than you thought it was. It includes the other. And you can't do without it.
No.
This brings about a fundamental change in the understanding of the meaning and nature of self. And thereupon, there become a change of attitude to other people.
You are me, I am you.
Your love, which is what you are, begins to express itself quite naturally and unaffectedly in a wider way. Now you may ask, well, how are we going to love? I don't think that's quite the question. It isn't so much how or where are we going to get the love from. We all have it. It's simply deep down in us bursting to get out. The desire to love and to be loved is, I think, probably the deepest thing that there is in us. Certainly, if the relationship of infancy to the rest of life have any truth in them at all, and so it's a matter of seeing that this deeply repressed love must be let out.
Let it out! Is that it? That was super sweet. I agree. I agree. You must let the love out, let the love shine, let it speak from the heart, don't give it inside. Oh my god, look at that, the lovers! That's so funny. Well, would you look at the three of swords? Well, yeah, of course. Anyways, I think that was very sweet, and I completely agree. So, not much left to add there. I guess that's it. That's my first video I'm gonna post. I don't think I'm gonna post the one about how the body keeps the score, just because it's like it was a bit sad, yeah. And I didn't have much to say. I mean, I did, but like not anything helpful if you ask me. So I think I'm just gonna keep that one in the vault. Maybe I'll post it or shuffle my cards and I'll see. But till then, I'm going to post this one because I really enjoyed that video and I do believe in love. I believe in love. I believe. I'm going to go in the league and I'll let you guys know how that goes. Wish me luck. I'm excited. I'm excited for the future. I'm excited for us all. You know, I do believe that our generation will find love. It might take a little while, but it will happen. So, yeah. Goodbye. Na 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 na. Dum dum.